So y'all gonna have to excuse me because I have to keep talking or whatever. It's too many people. It's too many. It's all the Americans. They plotting too quickly, and I'm hungry. I would rather not eat this because it was opened and resealed, and it don't taste right. But we will start. I will starve. It will starve my pregnancy if I don't eat. And I gotta keep telling y'all. So he came. He was running around in Dejanay room being petty, trying to steal a little toy that was in there, like just little, because she really was a grown woman, so anything he could find in there in her closet that may have belonged to her niece or her nephew or anything. He was just being real petty. I mean, not her nephew, but her niece. He was being petty. He was trying to find speaker, anything. And I was like, oh, you're going to have to get up out of here, because you can't be up in here trying to steal stuff out of here. Because my stuff was up there, but they still had stuff in the room that belonged to the girls, to their daughters, for when they was growing up, going to high school still. And then from when they was living in the room. So I was telling him he had to leave. And I want to make a correction from one of my last videos. I did not know that Austin was 18 when I went and got him out of the dope house. I thought he was 21, but that's still too young. Any age, you don't need to be up in no meth house, but to be 21 years old, he actually was 18, so it's a really good reason. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? And so now I kind of, I don't regret my son, but I kind of wish I would have left him there, but I don't regret my child giving birth to Melbourne Halo Matter. Our son is a beautiful child, wonderful child, and I'm glad that he was able to experience life, and I'm pregnant again by him. And so I went and got him out of the meth house. He was 21 years old. And I noticed, like, he had left to go to, Joseph's. He was, after this, I didn't see him for a while because he had left. He went to go to Joseph and Cynthia's house to go and get money. And he said he was going, he wanted me to come with him. I told him, wait for me outside. And I guess he was just trying to mess something out. He didn't want to wait. So he came and knocked on the door while I was trying to get dressed to come out because it was supposed to be like my off day or whatever. So I was telling him I'll come, just give me a second or whatever. And he was over there knocking on the door. And then Ashaya daddy had came and was like, that boy is at the door, or someone was like, he's at the door. And I didn't want him causing a ruckus over there by Stephania's house, because I didn't want them to be like, oh, she bringing this white boy over here, and y'all know how they go. And so and she already on her last leg staying over here. So I came outside and I was like, I'm coming. And we went over to his parents' house, and they gave me the money because he was on the drugs, and Cynthia didn't want anything to do with him. She didn't even want to talk to him. Joseph gave us the money. He didn't really want to talk to Austin. And we ended up like going over to old man Jack house or someone house, and then we ate dumplings and everything. And I met a black man around there. And when I was going to get him from the meth house, when I was leaving Stephania's, I told y'all how that all went down. I went and I was looking for him over there by old man Jack house. And old man Jack and them was with him at the dope house. Well, old man Jack was with him at the dope house or whatever. And I had asked the black man that I had seen, I was like, hey, have you seen Austin? And then he told me, he was like, sweetheart, he was like, he is too far gone. You need to leave him where he at. And don't taste right, but I'm gonna just keep eating it and I pray. But he was like, you need to leave him where he at. He was like, he ain't no good. He too far gone. And I'm thinking, he's 21. You know what I'm saying? How far gone could he be? You know what I'm saying? And I was just letting him know I was leaving Stephania's, and we were supposed to be going out together. So I was just letting him know, if you coming with me, come on. I'm not finna be living off these people. I'm finna go get me an apartment. And I always try to have my own place, and, I'm not finna be up in there with them carrying on like that at her house. I'm gone. at their house while I'm gone, So I wanted to let him know before I left because we were supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and I cared about him. So I knew he was at the meth. I was like, where is he? And he was like, I was like, is he at the drug house? Where he was saying, oh, he was like, he's with Jack and they over somewhere, but he didn't want to tell me where they was at. Snitching and all of that. He didn't want to tell me, and so I was like, okay, just point me in the direction, because I already knew he must be in some drug house. The man didn't want to tell me who the man. He didn't want to tell me what the man. He didn't want to tell me what was going on, but he just wanted to let me know. He was like, man, he's too far gone. I'm telling you, turn around and go on about your business. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go and get him. Where is he at? And at the time, I felt like I knew he was 21. I didn't find out he was 18 until after he had pulled the butcher knife on Cynthia around that time. And we was looking for an apartment a little later after that. And then I seen he had to get a new ID in order to get the apartment. That's when I found out. And I seen the paper ID said 1997. And my little sister was born in 92. And I'm 2 years older than her. So if I was 24, she was 22. I'm over here looking at him like, are you legal, bro? And I already met his mom. And she knew I was talking to him. And they was over there buying them beer. So I was like, man, these noodles, this shit don't taste right. And it didn't break down right. It wouldn't break down right for nothing. Like, it's the second pack that I had to make, and it still wouldn't break down like a normal noodle, and it don't taste right. I've been opened and resealed. They all been opened and resealed. And I'm pregnant by Austin. So anyway, basically, so I was like, well, just point me in a direction and tell me like which way to go. I'll find the house. So he pointed it to me. It's making me feel nauseous, like I'm finna throw it up. I can't eat it. So anyway, y'all don't how bad it hurt to starve someone like that while you pregnant for 2 years. So I went in the direction he pointed me, and I walked around, and I something just told me like it's their house right there. When I went in the direction he told me to go in, and I walked up to the man's house, and I went to the back door. I didn't go to the front door. I didn't go to the front door. I walked around the back. And I knocked on the door because that's where it seemed like everybody else going that way. Like it just looked it like that. Or that's how it was set up, however, and I walked around. That just tastes real bad, man. And I was like, damn, that shit making me feel nauseous, and it wouldn't break down right like a normal noodle. And the packet of seasoning opened and then resealed. God damn, that shit making me nauseous. Fuck. And that's how they've been starving my pregnancy. Some stuff will burn, some stuff will put you to sleep. And that made me nauseous. But anyway, so I went to knock on the door, and Austin came to the door. And I knew I had the right house. Damn, that shit got me feeling nauseous. I knew I shouldn't have ate it. Austin came to the door. And he was like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, he didn't want to see me. I hadn't heard from him in a day or two. You know, I knew he was back on the drugs because he told me he was clean. But if I didn't hear from him and he wasn't coming around, I knew he was back on them drugs, on the meth. So I was like, Austin, I'm leaving. I'm leaving Stephania's in their place because they're mistreating me. And I know I'm staying in their home, so they feel like they have the right to. And I'm not going to take that. So I'm leaving, and I'm going to go find me a job. And I'm going to get me an apartment somehow, some way to have my own place, because I'm not finna be somewhere where they're... I didn't really go into too many details, you know, because he the one who was like, when I made him some food one day, he was like, damn, he said, they treat you like shit. That's what Austin said. And they did. But people will say, oh, I took you in, and you this, and you didn't have that, and you was doing this, and you that, to justify it and say, oh, I treated you real good. I let you in my house without paying no bills. That's how they'll paint it. So I was just like, you know, well, you know, I'm leaving, and I can't. They had got to fighting and stuff up in there, and that's when I was like, hell no, I ain't finna be around no violence now. When now you can treat me like a dog all you want, and I'll take it. But when you get to the point where you putting your hands on me, but they got it. The Dejanay girl supposedly was finna try to come and fight me for her room after her daddy told her he was letting me stay in the room, and it was a whole nother room downstairs that she could stay in. So I just felt like it was all kind of altercation about me. You know, I don't want to make this about her, but then her brother was talking about he was going to come trying to fight her to try not to get to me, and then her mama was treating me bad, and she was over there talking about, oh, why you didn't stop them? Now I fell down the stairs and stopped my kids from fighting. Where would you at? I ain't finna be around none of that mess, because ain't nobody finna be drawing me up into no damn altercations so I could be arrested. And y'all know these police out here killing us, and you think that you're gonna stage some shit to where I gotta be arrested? Hell no. I was telling him, and I had a gun and I pawned it. I had a 380 before that, and I had a shotgun, and I pawned it. And they was trying to come and rob me in my home at the Grand Estates Woodlands, and I had them guns. And I pawned them for food and groceries and to pay my phone bill. And I forget to tell y'all, the day that Austin was taking me, one day, Austin, before all of this happened, when we first started talking, he wanted me to go somewhere with him, and he asked me to, we was going to the store, I think the day that Joe gave us the money. I dressed nice. I had a little Coach bag, and, you know, the little one that go over your chest, and then I had a noodle. And I had I braided my hair going straight back, you know, to the back, and I had on fresh white clothes, fresh white Jordans. I mean, my mother had left me $100,000. Yeah, you know, I still had some fresh clothes and stuff that I never wore, but I didn't have a whole lot of stuff. I kept most of the stuff that my mother had left behind when she died. I had some stuff, but not a whole lot, you know. And I never wore them shoes before, so I wore them that day to go out with Austin. And I had been planning on wearing them because they had been dogging me out over there like they slave. And I was like, well, on my off day, I'm going to get myself together and I'm going to walk around this mug clean in a mother. And I did. And he brought me up into the woods to go to the store when Joe gave him the money. He was like, oh, come on. Let's go to Shortcut. My mama told me when I was a little girl, don't go through shortcuts because they had raped and killed a little black girl through in the bushes. That's what she was saying over there at Cedar Ponds, where we was living in Atlanta, Georgia, or Clarkston, Georgia. So she whooped the hell out of us one time when Larissa took me back there. I went back there with Larissa one day anyway. She beat us up, whooped us real bad. So I was thinking about that when he was asking to take me through the woods, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I didn't feel safe. And I had pawned my gun for money, for food. So I was like, no, you know, I had bought another 380 after that later on, down after I had Melbourne. I went up in the store with Melbourne and bought the 380. Another 380. And I kept that one. And the Conroe police took that one from me. And it had never been shot before. I've never shot a gun before in my life. Even the guns that I owned in my home, the 380 that I owned in my home, I never shot it. Not at the gun range, no nothing. Not in the air. Never shot a gun before in my life. But I own two of them. And I said that I shoot it if they come up in here. I will. It'll be the first time I shoot one. I put something in somebody. But I don't play with guns. It was for my protection because I was an heiress. I had money. And I wanted a gun when I was young. When I was 17, 18, I wanted a gun because they was attacking me and stuff. Because I was beautiful. And nobody stood up for me. Not my mama, not my daddy, not my sister, not nobody. Everybody wanted to try to fight somebody. Put their hands on me. But this was different. It was men attacking me. And it was groups of girls. And it just was not safe. You know, and I had to go from city to city to get away from all of that. And they was over there trying to force me to be sex trafficked or killed. So, I made it. But at this point, Austin was bringing me through the woods. And I didn't have them guns. I pawned them. And when he was bringing me, I saw a group of Hispanic guys and like a little white guy. Young, they was young, you know, the Hispanic guys was like a little older, like, you know, like in the early 20s something, and the young guy, like he was like 20, you know, like just coming out of high school, but grown. And they was looking at me funny when he was bringing me to the cut, and I told him I don't want to go through no cut, through no woods to get to no gas station. We could just go the long way around. And he was like, oh, no, it'll take too much longer. And really it would. It's a long walk to go around to get to that gas station. So I was like, you know, okay, you know, I'll go through the cut with you or whatever. And I felt safe with Austin because I felt like he really liked me. And Austin has this very hard demeanor about himself to where he'll make you feel like he'll protect you with his life. So I was like, you know, okay, I'll go with him. Them noodles bothered me so much, y'all. I mean, it really did. But anyway, so we had started walking towards the woods, and then I noticed that in the houses, this was in Stephania's neighborhood, so you had to go through her neighborhood to get to the woods, and the guys were sitting at someone's house, and they were just staring at us like a lick, staring at me like a lick. And it almost felt like a setup, like he was setting me up with these guys. And I was just looking like what they looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was very taken aback by it. And then when we got into the cut, I was walking ahead of him trying to hurry up and get up out of there. Or he was walking ahead of me. I don't know. But I was trying to hurry up and get through the woods. And all of a sudden, Austin was stopping. And he was like, oh, look, look, look. And I'm trying to keep going. What is there to look at? But since he wanted me to look so bad, I went on ahead and looked. And I was like, okay. And I looked. And then I still didn't see what he was talking about. He was like, oh, it's some guys right there with a gun. And I'm like, I didn't even see the dudes, man. Because we was almost up at the cut. I didn't even see the dudes. Then I finally looked in a little harder because we was going this way. And he telling me to look back. Like, we all the way up here. What I got to look all the way back for? Like, and then I got to stare and wait for them to come in the woods. Like, it was like a whole damn setup. So I was like, okay, so what's going on? He was like, oh, they got a gun. And then so Austin go back there like, oh, what's up, what's up, what's up? And dude got a gun. I don't know if it's a real gun, BB gun, what, but it was a gun. So, and it was like kind of big, you know. And then he was like, what's up? What you put on gun? And he was like, nigga, you know what's up. Like the Hispanic dude was talking to him like he black and everything. And, you know, they over here talking like black dudes and everything. You know, he like how you hear most black men talking when they ganging up and all of that. And he was like, the Hispanic and the white dude. It was a Hispanic and a white dude. And they was like, nigga, what's up? You know what's up? You owe us money. And he was like, nigga, I don't owe you no money for nothing. And I don't owe you money for nothing. And he was like, yeah, they was like, you know what time they like they was finna shoot Austin. And so I walked over to them like, you know, hold on, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really scared. You know, I was a little bit, but not really. You know, I was scared, you know, that they would shoot Austin or something, you know, but I don't know. I just kind of felt the need to just kind of try to be the voice of the situation and try to keep things from going left So I went up to them, and I had stood right there, and I had between the both of them, but I didn't get like in front of the gun or in front of Austin, but I was right there like with both of them like in front of my face, and I was like, what's this all about? How much money do he owe you? And it was like that he owed them about $200 for drugs. And then I would like say, don't shoot him, don't kill him, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'll pay y'all the money. Look at me, I'm fresh as hell. I'm good for it. I'll get you your money. And then I was like, just don't shoot him, don't kill him. I got you. I'll get you your money. And then so they was like, looked at him up and down like, nigga, you better get that money. You know what I'm saying? And then they really wasn't like after that, they was like, I think they wanted to, I told them, I don't got the money on me right now. But just look at me, I'm good for it. I had on Coach, fresh Jordans, never had been worn, all white. I had, my hair braided to the T. I was fresh. You could tell, like, if I say I'll get you the $200, I'll get it for you. Now, it might take me a minute, but I'll get it for you. If that means you gonna shoot and kill him right here in front of me about $200 for some dope, nah, I'll get you the money, man. That's just what came out of my mouth just in the time being, you know what I'm saying? But then Austin was starting to make some comments that made me kind of mad because he was saying they had left. They had left. They had walked off and left. And then Austin was like, oh, he found their keys. No, and then he found their keys, and then he was saying to me, I guess they dropped their keys to their house. And he was saying to me, he was like, oh, they almost did something to me. And I'm over here like, they was not coming for me. They was coming for you. And if you trying to make me believe they was coming for me, then that mean it was a setup. So are you trying to tell me that you was setting me up to be robbed for money? Because I felt like it was a setup. And I didn't have no money to give. And I told y'all he was always coming at me asking for money. So after that, I kept asking him. I was like, Austin, because the way the whole thing went down with them, like with him, oh, do you see that? And if somebody gonna rob you, they gonna rob you. They gonna come up to you and they gonna be out a gun and they gonna be like, say, what you got? Skin me down. You ain't gonna be like, oh, look, there they go. Nah, it don't work like that. I done been robbed before. So it felt like a setup. And when we came out of the woods, they had dogs trying to attack me. And Austin was running them off. And then I was asking him, were you involved with that? Because that seemed like a setup. And I kept asking him for a long time. And I never trusted him. I never trusted him after that. Because it was so bad that it felt like he was setting me up to be robbed. If I would have had money, I would have given it to these guys for him in this little skit. Or for his drug habit. Either way, I didn't want to be getting robbed whether it was a setup or not. So, we went to go and get the little stuff, we went to his little friend's house and all of that. But then he had told, after that I was mad. Because now I'm feeling like you done set me up with this Hispanic dude and this white dude. And it could have went totally left if I hadn't pawned my guns. And to think that they would sit there and try to cover up the evidence of a young white male and a Hispanic male trying to rob a black woman in the woods. Look at how they doing. My white baby daddy attacked me in my home and my child, and I'm pregnant. And they over here trying to starve my pregnancy for him. Imagine what they would have did if I would have shot a gun to protect myself with a young white male, Hispanic male pulling out guns on us in the woods trying to rob us. They would have covered it up for them too. Thank God I didn't have no gun at the time. But I need to have my protection now, of course, yeah. And I don't care about the system. Because it's corrupt. And it is run by devils. So, Lord Jesus, help me. Help me say what I need to say. I never trusted him after that. And when I ended up leaving, like I didn't really hear from him much after I went back to the house. Like he told me they dropped their keys, and I had their keys, and I was like, you gonna rob somebody, and then you drop the keys to your house where they can just come back and come up in your house after you just pulling out guns on us? But nah, I ain't like that. So I gave the keys to Austin. And I told them, let them know that they dropped their keys to their house. And that could have been the setup. But I had went and got Christopher, and I told Christopher what they tried to do. And I said, I want to walk past here again. And I had a little weapon on me. And it was not no gun or nothing, but I was like, I want to see if they're going to try to pull it again. Because now I feel like that he set me up for them to try to rob me. Now, it was one thing to try to make it look like y'all was trying to get drug money from Austin that he owed y'all. But it's another thing to be trying to do a skit and he'll make it seem like he owe y'all drug money so that I could pay up money for him because I'm his so-called girlfriend. And I feel like he don't love me, so y'all over here setting me up. And I want y'all to know, don't intimidate me. Don't be trying to rob me for money and intimidate me and do skits around me. And that's what they've been doing. And so I got upset. And I was like, Lord Jesus, please don't let me be intimidated by anything or anyone. So I got upset. And I ended up going back to the house, but I didn't trust Austin after that. I didn't trust going nowhere with him after that. Lord Jesus, please get me to the next phase of this, because everyone is trying to cover all of this up about the type of person that he really was. And I ended up going back to work, going back home, Stefania's house, and going back to work for a little second. I only stayed there for like a week or two at Stefania's house, maybe 3, I don't know, because it was not long that I was at her home. And so when I was leaving and I was coming to get him out of this meth house, I was telling him, well, look, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be around there with them doing the stuff that they're doing in her house. And I'm going to get me a job in an apartment. And if you really serious about getting clean and getting your life together, you can come with me. And we can both get jobs. And, we can have a relationship and start a family if that's what you want to do. But it wasn't even deep about the family part. I was mostly stuck on the part about, let's just go and get us a place and stand on our own 2 feet as adults. You know what I'm saying? To where we not living off of nobody and we trying to make it on our own. And so he told me he wanted to stay up in the dope house. And that they wouldn't let me inside because I was black and they thought I was the police and what I was doing there and all of this, just being disrespectful. So I was like, you know what? I didn't want to come in anyway. I was just coming to see if you wanted to come. Because I'm gone. I'm not finna be back here no more. And so I started to leave. And I just was like, okay, goodbye, and I left. And I started walking off the property. And I had called the man Andrew, that they call Dookie, that stay out there, because I had met him because he thought I was a Shia when I was over there. I was outside one day and he thought I was a Shia, and he was like, oh, I know you from somewhere, and we started talking, or I met him at the store and he thought I was a Shia. So he tried to talk to me and met me as Andrea. But when we started talking on the phone, he started thinking he knew me from somewhere like else. And then we had figured out that he was talking about a Shia. And I was like, oh no, my name is Andrea. I'm staying over there with them, but I'm not a Shia. And so that's how I got to meet Andrew. But we still kept being cool, but we wasn't messing around. But I had his number. case of emergency, because I'm like, oh, if you trying to talk to Ashaya, that's my friend. I don't want to get in between nothing that y'all had. Or he was like, nah, I just liked her. But still, I didn't like him anyway, but I still had his number. So I had called him to see if he'll take me to look for jobs around there so I can get a job and get my place back again. And so he was saying that he would take me and that he was on the way. And so he's pulled up. But before he pulled up, Austin came running after me. And he was saying, hold on, I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you. And I was like, no, I already got somebody coming to get me. You said you wanted to stay up in the meth house, the dope house. Go ahead and stay up there. Because he had already told me that he was clean and that he was not doing the meth anymore. So now I knew, I asked him what he was doing over there at the man's house. And his name was Steve. And I asked him what he was doing. That's what they say. I asked him what he was in the Magnolia and somewhere around the Decker Hills. And nobody better not touch my baby out there. Because all that drug addict crap going on out there, and then thinking you going to do something to my child and threatening my child. I'm going to tell it all. You better leave us alone. Everybody involved, leave us alone. And so, basically, he was saying he wanted to stay over there in the dope house or whatever. And he had said that he had stopped doing the meth. But obviously, I asked him what he was doing over there. He was saying he just needed somewhere to sleep, that he didn't have anywhere to sleep, that his mother was not allowing him in her home, and that he had to sleep at the dope house in order. And I'm thinking, well, why the hell didn't you go to the damn dope house when you was asking me to come up in the room in the second floor and all of that? But I couldn't keep sleeping and sneaking him back up in Stephania's house. So if that's where he had to sleep, that's just where he had to sleep. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm leaving. And so he came running after me, but I was like, nah, because I gave him the opportunity, and he said he wanted to stay there and work on his bike and fix his bike and stay at the dope man house. So I was like, okay, well, I ain't living like this. And I told him, I said, the reason why I'm leaving is because someone is abusing me. Stephania and her family was abusing me. They wasn't physically, but it almost got physical, and it was a little too much mental abuse. So I was like, I'm not finna stay nowhere where nobody is abusing me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so I'm leaving. And if you really love me or care about me, then you would be by my side and wouldn't want me somewhere where they abusing me. So I told him I'm leaving. So I left. And he came after me, and I was telling him no. And he had a big old Smirnoff in his hand, big old one, drinking. And I said no, because these police already be profiling, and you walking around with liquor that's public intoxication. I said you need to put that down if you're going to be walking with me, because I don't need them pulling up on me because you want to walk around with a big old open bottle of liquor and Smirnoff, and I don't got time for them. I don't like the police messing with me, period. I do too much to try to stay out of trouble for them to be coming and rolling up on me because you want to walk around with your shirt off, drinking liquor and drunk in public, talking about we together. So he didn't want to get rid of the liquor. So I told him, get the hell away from me, and I started screaming. Because if you can't get rid of that liquor while we walking down the street, you got to be so damn drunk to where you got to walk around everywhere we going with an open